Hi everybody, I'm Eric. Just real quickly, while I was editing my last video where I talked about Project Spartacus, I'll put a card up here somewhere. If not, there'll definitely be a link down below. I realized that I started talking about games that I haven't played in a while on the PlayStation, and I kind of want them to make a comeback in some form, maybe on the new service that's been rumored, or if not, for Sony or somebody to bring these franchises back onto the PlayStation some way or somehow. Anyways, if certain things don't make sense, I try to edit this video in order to try to keep it as cohesive as possible. So if certain things don't make sense, go ahead and go back and watch that other video. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. To be 100%, I probably won't play a lot of the PlayStation 1 games because a lot of the franchises that I used to play on the PlayStation 1 are still around and they're still being updated. There are certain games that I would like for them to go back and redo. So that's what I would look for, maybe with PlayStation Now adding PS1, but that's just me. There's other people who there's franchises that they loved playing on the PlayStation 1 that are no longer around and they would like to go back and relive that. For me, there's two games in particular that I personally would like to play from the PlayStation 1, and one of them is Bushidoblade. This game was, I think, one of the best games on the PlayStation 1, and there has never been another game like it. And I've played a lot of fighting games over my time on the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, 4, and 5 now. And to be honest with you, I think that this was one of the best fighting games ever made. There was nothing else like it at the time. And then when they came out with Bushidoblade 2, they completely screwed that game up. And there was another one that came out on the PlayStation 2. I can't remember the name of it, but it was, again, nothing like Bushidoblade, or at least it was supposed to be part of this franchise, but it was nothing like the original Bushidoblade. And I personally would like to go back and replay this. I have the disc, so I can technically replay it anytime that I want on the PlayStation 2, on my PlayStation 2, because I no longer have my PlayStation 3 Fat, but that's another story. But this is one of the games that I would love to, for the younger generation to experience, because again, it was just something different that wasn't around at the time, and I don't believe there's anything like it around today. So if you've played this game, let me know in the comments below. Another game that I really loved on the PlayStation 1 was Rival Schools, and I know that the Japanese versions of this game got updated over time, and I believe there was a Rival Schools 2. And there was like a small franchise that continued on the Dreamcast, and on the, I believe some of the games might have came out on the PlayStation 2, but I don't think any of those games ever made it to the US. At least I'm not aware if they did. If they did, let me know, because I would like to kind of go back and continue this. Now, this is a game that I no longer own. Unfortunately, when I moved out of my parents' house, some of my games stayed back and I ended up donating a lot of my things, and this was one of the games that ended up going, and right now to try to get this game online anywhere is super crazy expensive. But if you remember playing this game on the PlayStation 1, let me know, because this is a game that I would like to go back and re-experience. I just don't want to pay the crazy amount of money that it goes for nowadays. Another game that I've been waiting on, which came out on the PlayStation 3, Heavenly Sword. I don't understand why we haven't gotten a Heavenly Sword 2 yet. Maybe at some point we will, or maybe we won't. Another franchise that I would like to relive is the Resistance Fall of Man. Now, granted, I still own those two games, so technically I can relive them at any point. But all four of those games, Bushidoblade, Rival Schools, I would love to see these two games with updated graphics. To be honest with you, because they're fighting games, they don't have to change a lot of the mechanics. But if they were just to redo these games and remaster them into, with modern graphics and HD graphics, that would be one of the, I would go out and buy these games in a heartbeat, those two games in a heartbeat, to be honest with you. And like I said, I still own Bushidoblade. But I would love to play this with HD graphics. Same thing with Rival Schools. I would love to play this with HD graphics. Heavenly Sword, I want a Heavenly Swords 2 ever since Heavenly Sword came out, so hopefully we'll get that in the future. But we're on the PlayStation 5 and we still haven't gotten it. But if they were to remaster this and put it out on the PlayStation 5, I would buy it again, just to get the updated graphics. Same thing with Resistance Fall of Man. All 3 of the Resistance games were really good, and I like playing those games. And I would love to go back and play them with updated graphics. And like I said, I can still go back and play them now. I just don't have the time. But if they come out with updated graphics, I would go back and play them in less than a heartbeat. Here's another game that I would go back and play again if they remaster it. But I'll be honest with you, they might have to redo all the mechanics and everything. This is Socom was a series that I spent many nights playing on the PlayStation 2. I think I played a lot of this more than anything else on the PS2. Especially, I think it was with Socom 2 when they went online. When I found out that you could play online, this was my very first experience to online gaming was with Socom 2 on the PS2. And then Socom 3, when that came out, many nights playing that. These games, I would love to see a proper remake of Socom. Maybe not even a remake, just bring the franchise back, to be honest with you. Because the last Socom game that we got on the PS3, I'm not gonna go too deep onto that, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. But anyways, something to go back to something like this, to the original Socom games. Like I said, many nights playing online, and I was still living at home with my parents when these games came out. And I remember pissing my mom off every single night because I was constantly yelling at the microphone and screaming when I was playing this online, or whenever I messed up throwing a frag grenade and ended up killing the whole entire squad. So people were yelling at me in that respect. But anyways, a proper remake of this game, or just bring the franchise back proper how the original Socom games were, not like the last one that came out on the PS3. So this is another game that I think should get a proper remake today. To be honest with you, I think this game was ahead of its time. On the PlayStation 3, 250 plus players on a server online at the same time. And I know that the game, when it first came out, was a little rocky and had some issues, but I stuck around with the game. And this game had full servers every time I played. I never had problems getting into this game every time that I played, and it kind of died out after the PlayStation hack, the PlayStation Store hack, I believe in 2010 or something like that. If you know the date, let me know. But this was a game that I thought was ahead of its time, that I think deserves a proper remake for today. And I think that if it was to come out today, this game would do a lot better. So maybe, hopefully, Sony will think and add a little bit more into this game, and rethink their gaming strategy, at least their FPS gaming strategy, because this is something that I would definitely go back and play, because this is another game that I spent many nights playing, and that's to say that I played this probably more than I played any of the Battlefield games, and I'm a Battlefield fan, so I don't know where to go with Battlefield 2042 just yet, but I was a big Battlefield fan back then. I still am a fan, but I don't know, 2042, I'm in between. But that's for a different story. So maybe, hopefully, this game will get a proper remake. I highly doubt that it'll be on the subscription service because the servers are down. But hopefully they bring back this game, or at least, you know, redo it or some way to bring this back. Because again, this game was just ahead of its time, and there's nothing else like it out there right now. Oh, you know what? What's another game that I would like for them to bring back? Warhawk. Man, if you guys remember playing Warhawk, now that game, dude, I used to play the heck out of that game too. That game was the shit. They need to bring that back. They do. They need to bring another Warhawk game and just re-release the new Warhawk and bring the servers back. You know, because I would love to play that game, and the fact that you can play with 4 players online on one screen, man, they need to bring that back. So let me know if you guys used to play that game and if y'all want that back, because that's another game that should come back. Anyways, but let me know. $180 for you know, tier 3, maybe. If you're a hardcore gamer, maybe. If they include anime on there with it, that might be something that I may do. But I'm still iffy on the $180, because just another subscription service to add, oh man, I don't know. All right, so what did you guys think about the games that I mentioned in the video? If there's any others that you think that should make a comeback in some form, or a franchise that has been long gone and forgotten that you really want to come back, let me know in the comments down below. You can also hit me up on Twitter at Inadequate Eric, and then also check out my photography at The Inadequate Photographer on Instagram. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe while you're here. And like always, stay inadequate.